Welcome to Keypoint 800. In this video, I will be showing you how a perfect scorer takes the SAT Math No Calculator section on the 5th SAT practice test. I will personally show you how I take the test and strategies I use to get a perfect math score. So let's get started. So number 1. Which of the following is an equation of the line L in the xy plane above? So this we're looking for y-intercept is 1, and the only one that matches is D. Number 2, the circle of center O has a circumference of 36. What is the length of minor arc AC? So this one. So that means that's a quarter, so that's 9. 36 divided by 4 is 9a. What are the solutions to the quadratic equation? Let's divide everything by 4 to make it simpler to solve. So we get that. So we then factor. And so our answers are 3 and -1. And that looks like it's B. Number 4. Which of the following is an example of the function whose graph in the xy plane has no x-intercepts? So if there's no x-intercept, then it must change directions. So let's look. Linear always goes through the x-intercept, so that's wrong. If it has real zeros, that means it intersects the x-axis, so that's wrong. This one has no real zeros, that means it doesn't intersect the x-axis, so looks right. And a cubic polynomial was like this, and that always intersects with the x-axis, so the answer is C. Number 5, in the equation above, k is a constant. If x equals 9, what is the value of k? Plug in 9 and solve. So k plus 1. And if you plug in 9 here, you can add it to the other side. So it can be like that. Square both sides. And then find answer 79. D. 4. Which of the following is the equivalent to the sum of the expressions a squared minus 1 and a plus 1? So just add them together. A squared plus a. See, these cancel out. So that's the correct answer. Number 7. Jackie has 2 summer jobs. She works as a tutor, which pays $12 an hour, and she works as a lifeguard. Let's change it. Looks like so let's change that to X. And she works as a lifeguard, which pays for $9.50 per hour. She can work no more than 20 hours per week, but she wants to earn at least 220. Which of the following inequalities represents a situation where X is the number of hours she tutors here, and Y is the number of hours she works as a lifeguard here? So we know that she wants at least 220, so 220 like that. More, this means number of hours and the amount she gets. So this is total amount she makes. It has to be greater than or equal to $220, and this is the pure number of hours she doesn't want to work. She wants to work under 20 hours, so it would be like this. So the answer would be it won't be these because she wants to make more, and it can't be this. So the answer is C. It can't be this because she wants to work less. So the answer is C. Number 8. In air, the speed of sound s in meters per second is a linear function of the air temperature T in degrees Celsius, and is given by S of T is equal to 0.6 T plus 331.4. Which of the following statements is the best interpretation of the number 331.4 in this context? Alright, so this is like the in the graph, that's like the y-intercept. So that means the y-intercept is when t equals 0. So the answer is, yeah, the answer is A. Number 9, if x, y is a solution to the systems of equations above, and x is greater than 0, what is the value of x times y? So we can substitute in y into this part. So 2x squared plus 6 is equal to, just distribute 2x plus 6, distribute these, and then subtract some numbers over. Factor. So x has to be greater than 0, so x is equal to 1. And 1, that means that y is equal. You plug in 1 here, y is also equal to 1. So 1 times 1 is just 1. So the answer is A. Number 10, if a squared plus b squared equals z and ab equals y, which of the following is equivalent to 4z plus 8y? So what we can do is we can just substitute these values into this equation here. So plug in z into 4z, you get 4a squared plus b squared, and then plus 8ab. So now what we can do is we can just distribute. So we get 4a squared plus 4b squared plus 8ab. Then we can just rearrange it and make it easier to factor. So so let's look at our answer choices. So what we can see is these are all squares. So when you square this, when you square the first term, it should equal 4a squared, and you square the last term, it should equal 4b squared. So let's look at which one matches. Let's look at number 1, or a. A squared is a squared, and that's not matching, so that's wrong. 2a, and then the entire thing squared is 4a squared, so that looks right. 2 squared is 4 squared is 16, that's not right. And again, the same thing applies, 4 squared is 16, that's not right. The answer is B. Number 11, the volume of a right cylinder A is 22 cubic centimeters. What is the volume in cubic centimeters of a right cylinder of twice the radius and half the height of cylinder A? So we know that the volume of the cylinder is pi r squared h. So if we have twice the radius, so 2 times, so plug in a 2 there, and then half the height, so 1/2. So in the end, that means that this cylinder is 2 times larger, so, or 2 times more spacious. So 2 times 22 is 44. Answer is C. Which of the following is equivalent to 9 to the power of 3 over 4? We can write this as 9 to the power of 3, and then for fruit, and we can rewrite 9 to the power of 3 as 3 to the power of 6, like that. So when you write it as that, then you can simplify this to become 6 over 4, so equals 3 to the power of 3 over 2. So then so this is the square root of 27, because 3 to the power of 3 is 27, and if you simplify it. It becomes D, 12. So 12 is D. At a restaurant, n cups of tea are made by adding tea bags to hot water. If T equals n plus 2, how many additional tea bags are needed to make each additional cup of tea? So let's solve okay, so let's solve this equation where n. So n is equal to t minus 2. So you can see that you need just one more to, since, yeah, if you increase this by 1, this increases by 1. So that's why it's 1. Number 14. The function f is defined by the equation above, which of the following is the graph of y equals negative f of x. So negative f of x means it's going to be flipped over the x-axis. So this equation looks something like this. So when it's flipped, it should look something like this. So the answer is, alright, so the answer would be y intercept of 2. So C. You can tell it's a y intercept of 2 because or negative 2. Well, in the original function, the y intercept is 2, but you flip over the x-axis, so it's negative 2. The reason I know that is 2, plug in 0 here, you get 1 plus 1 equals 2. Number 15. Alan drives an average of 100 miles per week. His car can travel an average of 25 miles per gallon of gasoline. Alan would like to reduce his weekly expenditure on gasoline by $5. Assuming gas costs $4 per gallon, which equation can Alan use to determine how many fewer miles he should drive each week? So we should make some models. So we can see that he drives 25 miles, or he drives 100 miles per week, and 25 miles, he gets 25 miles per each gallon. So that's basically 4 gallons of gas per week, times that by 4 is 16. He wants to reduce that by 5. So let's model his, so 100 minus m. That represents the number of miles he would drive once his drive is reduced. So then divide by 25, times that by the price of 4 equals 5. So now we can do this. 11 is equal to 4 100 minus m over 25. So 4 over 25, 100 minus m equals 11. Distribute and get 16 minus 4 over 25 m equals 11. And 4 over 25 m is equal to 5. So the answer is D. So we're on the grid section. So there's no multiple choice. So Maria plans to rent a boat. The boat rental costs $60 per hour. She will also have to pay for a water safety course that costs $10. She wants to spend no more than $280 for the whole thing. If boat rental is only available for a whole number of hours, what's the maximum number of hours she can rent the boat? So let's make an equation. So we have y for the total cost equals 60x plus 10. And she wants to spend no more than $280, so let's just do this. So we get inequality, 280. So let's solve 270. Let's create an equal to 60x. x is less than or equal to. So how many times does it go into? How many times does 60 go into 270? That's about 4 times. So that's the maximum number of hours. So that's the answer, 4. Number 17, what is the solution to P? So just to shoot 2P plus 2 plus 8P minus 8 equals 5P. Looks like we can move that to that side. Okay, so we have 6 on this side from the 2 and the 8, negative 8 here. You move it to that side, you get 6. Then you get 10P minus 5, 5P. So P equals 6 over 5. And that is your answer. Greater than 6 over 5, or 1.2. Number 18, the system of equations above has solution xy. What is the value of x? So this is this is solved for, so we're gonna just plug in y here and solve for x. So you get 1/2. So 2x plus 2x, 2x plus 2x from there equals 4x. So go to 21 over 2. Multiply by 2 on both sides to get rid of the halves. 4x equals 21. And then x equals 21 over 4. And just grid that in. 19. The expression above is equivalent to a over x plus 2 squared, and where a is a positive constant and x is not 2. What is the value of a? So we should combine these together by making them have the same denominator. You can do that by multiplying this by x over 2, or x plus 2, not x over 2. And then same thing you can do here. So now you have 2x plus 6, and to shoot this out, plus 2, or rather it's not plus, it's minus, because it's a negative 2, minus 2x minus 4 all over x plus 2 squared. As you can see, these cancel out, and 6 minus 4 is equal to 2, and that corresponds to a, so that's your answer, 2. Finally, number 20, intersecting lines R, S, and T are shown below. What is the value of x? So this is a triangle. You can use this to find that. You can use the fact that this angle is supplementary to this angle to find this angle, and that angle would be 74, I think. Yeah, 74. And then this is the sum of this angle here plus this angle. You remember from geometry, the sum of the exterior angle is the sum of the outermost interior angles, something like that. So 74 plus 23 is 70 or 97. So that's your answer. Alternatively, if you don't remember that theorem from geometry, you can solve knowing the fact that this plus the sum of the angles in a triangle is 180, and find this angle and use the fact that this is supplementary to get the fact is 97. So let's try that. So 74 plus 23 is 97, and then 97, so this angle would be 100, or this angle would be 83, and then supplementary, that would be 97. So I think my method of just adding the outermost angles, the furthest angles, is easiest. But if you don't remember that from geometry, then use the traditional way of just solving for the angle using the fact that the sum of the angles in a triangle is 180, and then use the fact that it's supplementary to find x. And that is all for the math no calculator section of the 5th SAT practice test.